Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our training tonight. My name is Bart Kotter. I am looking forward to sharing with you a little bit of some incredible information about the profession that we're involved with. We happen to be involved with an industry and a profession that I'm very, very excited about. My background, I was the U.S. Chamber before, well, gosh, another lifetime ago, I was the U.S. Chamber of Commerce representative, the business representative, I should say, for the United States Chamber of Commerce. They made me work in a really rough territory. I had to live in Maui, Hawaii. Hey, somebody had to do it, so I volunteered. It was a great opportunity because it gave me a chance to talk with thousands of business owners. And I got to tell you, I love free enterprise. I love people who are willing to step out and take a little bit of risk, take some responsibility for their profession. Maybe some of you can relate with this. I discovered that as long as you work for somebody else, your job is only as secure as your employer's mood. There's no such thing as job security. The other thing is maybe your job is only as secure as your employer's business. Now, on the other hand, if you own your own business, and my guess is a lot of you have, other than a network marketing business, it's really amazing. It's really a challenge to stay in business nowadays when and taxes and workers, the regulation that comes with your business, retirement things. It's just a real challenge it's surprising that anybody can stay in business, quite frankly. So when you really take a serious look at the network marketing profession, it is quite amazing, and it truly is a profession. And I want to share with you a few things. Number one, I want to share with you some statistics about the profession that we're involved with. Second of all, I want to share with you some slides that I copied from Chuck Funky from a presentation. He's our Asea CEO. And he shared a presentation comparing the network marketing business, and particularly specifically Asea, compared to some other professions, particularly the medical field. And then I want to show you some statistics on what the leaders have done and how to really build a successful business with this and really treating it as a business. So with that, let me see if we have any more luck here. I'm going to try to share the screen again. And hooray, it looks like it's working here. Okay, so play from the start. Okay, excellent. Can everybody see that? Okay, great. Now, what I'm going to share with you tonight, some of these slides are from a mastermind event, and these slides, it was a presentation that was delivered in 2018. I just wanted to take from this presentation some of the slides and just tell you how amazing this profession is and where the thing is, what I found is a lot of people take the network marketing business model are involved with this profession basically as customers, or they're perhaps jumping in with the expectation of a get-rich-quick sort of a thing. Well, network marketing is not get-rich-quick, but the numbers of network marketing grew to 116 million people in 2017, and sales grew to 189 billion. This profession that we're involved with is absolutely massive. So let me go back here. So if we look now, by the way, a lot of these statistics, some of these statistics will be U.S. These are U.S. numbers, by the way. So we just need to convert that to Australian dollars if you're thinking in Australian numbers. But 2017. There was a record of 189.6 billion in global sales. You can see how this has gone up. So the network marketing profession is alive and well, and it is absolutely growing. This is exciting. $76 billion was paid to distributors in this profession in 2017. And if we look at this, you can see that since 2009 through 2017, $1.5 trillion was generated in network marketing. That means that 600 billion was paid to associates in that period of time. So you can see that there's a lot of people that are being paid through this profession. Word of mouth is by far the best way of marketing. Now, if we break this down, and I wanted to show you some of these figures because these are countries that we are mostly in Asea. But you can see the Asian market is massive. We just entered Hong Kong, Philippines, Thailand, Taiwan, and Singapore. I believe that Malaysia is going to be coming along here pretty soon as well. So you can see that this is a massive region. Of course, in Europe, North America, we're not in South America yet or Africa, but we are in absolutely the biggest markets that are there. So again, I've highlighted what the sales are in the particular markets. We're in the United States, we're in Germany, we're in Mexico, France, Malaysia. Malaysia is going to be pretty soon, Taiwan, United Kingdom, and Italy. So we're in a lot of the largest markets. It was interesting to see that the Philippines that just opened up is actually a larger market than Australia. So you can see some of the other countries that we're in. We're players in a very big marketplace, and we are playing a major role in a lot of these countries that are significant players in the network marketing professions. Now, the other thing I wanted to highlight is if we look specifically at the products that Asea has, and you want to look at your market viability, the wellness industry is by far the biggest, only followed by cosmetic and personal care, which, by the way, that also happens to be our category too, with the Renew 28 and the Renew skincare line. So those are absolutely huge markets that we play in. So we're positioned because the fact is that there's a lot of good companies. There's a lot of good network marketing companies. But the thing I love about Nikan is that we've got a product that nobody else has. We've got a technology that's patented by numerous patents in a whole another category of science that is massive. So we're pretty special in that regard. Now, if we look at the number of distributors globally, this is pretty exciting. 16.7 million distributors globally. So again, sometimes people. One of the reasons I wanted to show you some of the different countries that and what's happening with the growth globally is I know sometimes people think that the grass is always greener somewhere else, or network marketing isn't. Australians just aren't as interested in network marketing. Everybody seems to think, regardless of what country you're in. I hear some of those things. I grew up in Utah, and of course that's where most network marketing companies originate from. Certainly a lot of them, and they think, oh, you can't network marketing business in Utah or in the United States because people have heard so many of them. Well, the point here is to let you know that network marketing is alive and well. The fact is that people are looking for ways of building a home-based business. They're looking for ways of generating residual income. We share products via word of mouth. I want you to feel 100% confident with incredible certainty coming from a place of being bulletproof, that you can be absolutely proud of the profession that we're involved with, as well as, of course, we happen to be involved with the best company in this profession. So that's pretty cool too. If you look at the growth, since 2014, it's 3.7% growth, compounded annual growth. So again, you can see that the growth is there. Now, this is an exciting aspect that I wanted to share with you about network marketing, and that is that network marketing is one of the few places where women earn the same amount of dollars for what they do as men. It's a completely level playing field. But what's even more exciting about this, now I heard a statistic that in the United States, 82% of the women that earned over $100,000 per year did it in network marketing. Now that's pretty significant, especially when you can think of a lot of women are looking for ways of building a business part-time, that want to be home with their family, with their kids. And I think it's an incredible market that we need to really tap into. Is women that like to stay at home, want to raise a family, build a business, have the freedom to really do what they want to do, with their family, whether it's part-time or whether it's full-time. But it is a significant opportunity, particularly for women. So any guys on this call, we need to really target that market. It is a huge market, and I think we can really show people how to create that freedom. In fact, it's kind of interesting. Who are the top income earners in network marketing? And really, the majority of the top 20% of income earners in network marketing are women and also couples. So a lot of couples doing it together, but also a lot of the women. In fact, if we look at Asea, Trish Schwankler, who is really the driving force of her business, but it's also Trish and Bob. They are the right now currently the only triple presidential diamonds in the company. So they're obviously the top income earners. The second one would be Denny Robinson, and she's the driving force of their business. Tom, of course, is a great support system for her, but really she is the driving force of her business. Of course, two women that you can see. So pretty incredible there. So if we look at this statistic, now this is business activity in the U.S. In the U.S. market, there were 5.6 million distributors working their business either full-time or part-time as business builders. So you can see it's a pretty substantial market there. Let's see. This also shows the sales generated in these particular industries. So we talk about the wellness industry. This would be by percentages pretty significant: home and family care, beauty. So here's the bottom line. Network marketing offers everyone an equal opportunity regardless of age, sex, race, religion, or level of education. Now, the reality is I'm graduated from high school. I went to Utah State University, and I'm a proud college dropout. I was studying communications, and every class I was in, I thought, I'm just completely wasting my time here. I wanted to get out in the real world. So in terms of having a degree to go get a job or a profession of some kind that would require that, I was not qualified. So I love this profession because the fact is we've got a lot of doctors, lawyers, we've got virtually thousands of health professionals that are involved with us, educated people. But the fact is this is a level playing field, and I can attest to that personally, of course. So something else I wanted to point out, as business builders in our profession, let's just take a look at the age group that this represents. Now, 30% of network marketers are millennials, ages 23 to 37, 37%. Gen X's 38 to 52, 34%, and the baby boomers, a little bit older category, 53 to 73%. So I think, I guess one of the points I wanted to share this slide is I really think that we've got a huge market with the millennial market, with the millennials that we really need to show them how they can create a residual income and work from home and create something quite amazing. So it's a target market that I think as Asea associates, we can really maximize that even more effectively. So let's see, the network marketing, it's absolutely geared for growth. I'm just going to kind of skip past this slide. And it is absolutely proven to be a viable profession. Now, what I want to do is I want to shift gears here a little bit. And I mentioned before that Chuck Funky had done a presentation where he talked about the network marketing profession, and basically that the fact that a lot of people come and go. A lot of people start and maybe they quit. Some people get involved as customers, and what happens is that sometimes we take for granted the opportunity, and a lot of people miss the opportunity because when opportunity knocks, it's dressed up in overalls and looks like work. And so some people think it's net wish marketing or get rich quick. It's not that. It is work, and it definitely takes some hard work. But one of the things I love about what Chuck talked about is he discussed the barrier to entry. And if you look at every job, every profession has a barrier to it. What does it take to? What do you need in terms of skills? What do you need in terms of income? What do you need in terms of education to be able to break this barrier to entry? And so, so if we look, for example, at medical school, and look, I want to share something with you. It was 25 years ago when I was introduced to the network marketing profession. And I remember the guy I was talking to. It's the first three-way phone call that I had ever done, and his name was Dave. Dave Johnston. He said, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm helping a lot of people, making a big difference. He said, and not only that, it pays really good. And I remember asking Dave. I said, well, Dave, are you making any money? And he said, well, it's almost embarrassing. You got to remember, this is 1994. He said, last month they sent me a check for almost 60, or about 62. And I thought, 62, what, $62, $6,200, and it was $62,000 for the month. And this was honestly quite an average guy. He just was a very down to earth, soft-spoken kind of guy. We just built some rapport, and he said, and I loved what he said. He said, we're helping people, we're making a difference. It's fun, it's rewarding, and it paid really good. And I did a very quick calculation. I thought, he's earning more every month than what I was earning annually at that point in time. He's certainly enjoying what he's doing a lot more than what I was enjoying doing. And I thought, I need to take a good look at this. And I thought, well, if he can do this, I can do this. And I thought, what else could I possibly do? And I really kind of racked my brain with this for a second. I thought, what else could I possibly do where I could earn, 62,000? I'm not sure what that would equate to now. Probably more like, 100,000, particularly since it's U.S. dollars, to earn that kind of money monthly. And one of the things that I thought of was, what if, being a doctor, what would it actually take? Or what about being a high-paid attorney, for example? I thought, what would that actually, take to do that? And I realized that there was a huge barrier to entry to even be considered for those kind of professions, or to even try to find something where you would make that kind of money. So this is pretty interesting. He said, if you want to go to medical school, he said the average debt that a college graduate would have would be about $190,000. And again, these are in U.S. dollars. He said more than 57% of the students actually had from medical school. So the thing that's also interesting, and just doing a quick comparison, and I love this comparison of the the barrier to entry. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to go to medical school, you wanted to be a doctor. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to get an undergraduate degree, perhaps in biology or pre-med, and that's typically a 4-year degree. Now, after you've invested that 4 years in medical school, and the students, and before you go to medical school, you've got to take this test called the MCAT, and the MCAT stands for Medical College Admissions Test. Now, here's the interesting thing. So keep in mind that people have already invested 4 years in their education or more, and from the 87,000 people that took the MCAT, only 53%, or only 53,000 of them, 53,042, actually applied for medical school. So simply taking this test, about 30,000 people that said, that's enough. I don't think medical school is what I want to do. And then from the people that actually took, that applied for medical school, only 21,030 were actually accepted into medical school. So you can see that there's about an 80% dropout rate from the people that actually started. So that's a pretty huge barrier to entry right there. In fact, by the time you're out of medical school and you've become a doctor, you're actually looking at about 11 or 12 years of school. So, so let's say, so in 2018, there were 19,553. Again, these are U.S. statistics, but I'm sure this wouldn't be a whole lot different if we looked at the statistics for graduates in Australia or New Zealand. So again, only 22.6% of the people that went to that took the MCAT actually graduated from medical school. Now, here's the next thing that's interesting. Again, we're looking at the barrier of entry. After you've gone through medical school, then you've got to do a residency. And these residencies can, depending on which field it is, could last up to 8 years. And so this is pretty amazing because these guys really don't have a life. They're working sometimes 60 to 70, sometimes even more hours per week. And you can see that the income is really not that high, particularly for not having a life. So after they've done that, now here comes the reward. And you can see that they get paid pretty well for what they do. Practicing doctors average, you can see from cardiology, over 400,000 down to family medicine 241, pediatrics 221. So, of course, again, this is US dollars. So you just do the conversion to Australian dollars, you probably have a good comparison. But here's the interesting thing. On the income disclosure statement for 2018, I want you to look at this. The average diamond in Asea earned $190,000, and the average triple diamond is earning what some of the highest paid professions in the medical field, on an average. Certainly some would be paid more and some would be paid less, but you're right on par with some of what the top doctors are earning. And the ambassador ranks and the presidential ranks are 3 times that average. So this is typical of what you can actually earn in a Asea business. So again, if we look at the barrier for entry, what is the barrier for entry to Asea? It's so low, it's almost embarrassing. It's $40 US. So Australian dollars, about 60 bucks, and you've got an Asea business. For that business, you've got the opportunity to build something really quite remarkable in countries all across the world. So this barrier to entry is something, quite frankly, is so low that people take it for granted. And that's why so many people come in and come out. So if you put all that time and that effort and that investment into being a doctor, you're more likely to stay there. And people don't typically quit because they've already put that in the front end. With this kind of a business, you put the sweat equity in to build it in the beginning as opposed to in the end. So that's the beautiful part of it too, because the fact is, when you do that, you're actually creating a residual income, and which gives you more freedom. Because the fact is, a lot of those doctors don't really have they don't have a lot of time, and they've got a lot of overhead, and they've got a lot of regulations as well. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just kind of shift here for a second now and say, so how do we build a successful Asea business? I want to just go through some of the facts and some of the statistics on and look at some of the leaders and say, okay, if success leaves clues, and this really is an amazing profession that we're involved with, then how can I be a fly on the wall? Who can I look at and see what they've done? Because I know that if they've done it, all I need to do is the same thing. Just like my example with my mentor 25 years ago, I modeled and duplicated what he did to learn how to build a business. So the most important thing is to understand what it is that you want to achieve. The bigger it is, the easier it is for other people to become a part of it. And unlike most businesses that are very competitive, where you got to crush the competition, you've got to outdo someone else. It's dog eat dog. That's not the cool thing about network marketing. Is the way you get ahead is by literally helping other people to succeed. It is 100% a win-win philosophy and strategy. And you know what? There's really no limitation. The pie is so big, we don't have to. We can help everybody. And the next thing is, so what do you want? I think getting clear on what your why, and it's really more important who you're going to become. Because by building a successful business, believe me, you will be a different person than you were when you started. You'll go through some personal growth, and it's just deciding. Personally, I found that we're either growing, we're dying. We're going forward, we're going backward. And I know Mal Sword really talks and teaches personal development is so incredibly important. So really just decide to grow, decide to learn, and also decide to treat this like a business, like a profession. Like if you were investing $1 million in it, how would you treat this? If you'd spent 12 years going through medical school and so forth, how would you treat your business? You'd treat it probably different than maybe the way that you're currently treating it. So I want to give you that idea to really look at this like a business. So the basics, basically you want to experience Asea. You want to be a product of the product. You want to lead by example. You want to set yourself up on auto ship. You want to track your results. You want to share the product with everybody. You want to make a list of names. You want to learn some scripts, set some daily goals, daily mode of operation where you're actually talking with a lot of people. And then you want to simply plug your people into the team. So weekly workshops, any major events, and working with a mentor from people that can teach you what to do. So it's just kind of learning as you go. And we're simply taking people through this process where we're teaching people to teach people to teach people. So it's pretty simple to grow that. Now, let's see. That slide was in the wrong place. So diamond is the dream. So let's just take a look at what it takes to become the diamond, because we want to look at those incomes and say, what is it that we're actually striving to? So if we look at this, Asea's got a roadmap, kind of the different levels that we want to achieve, and it's mapped out sort of like a mountain. So if we look at this, we could look at hitting bronze, which is where the executive ranks begin. And then you're going to silver, gold, platinum. But really what I want to do is I want to focus on the diamond rank. Now, as we do that, I want to just share with you the income disclosure statement. Now, we looked some of the income disclosure statement from the slide before, but this is through the different ranks of your business. So as you're starting, even on a monthly basis, Director 300 is, if they're qualifying consistently, can make a pretty decent car payment. Bronze level, this can maybe bring a spouse home, or it can maybe someone that's working 2 jobs, they can get rid of one of those jobs and be able to do it, work from home. Diamond income, we're talking about $21,000 a month, basically. And of course, you saw the income for the triple diamond ranks and the ambassador ranks. So what I'd like to do is just take a moment and share with you some of the profiles. Now, one of the profiles, and actually before I do that, I want to just share with you what they did is they took all the diamonds in Asea, and they said, how long did it take them to hit these different income levels? So Director 300, it took the average diamond to hit that. 3 months to go Director 700, 6 months to go bronze, 8 months to go silver, 11 months to go gold, 18 months at platinum, and the average diamond, it only took them 21 months, so less than 2 years to achieve the income level that we showed you on those charts. So the other thing that was cool about this, I mentioned that the goal is to really bring your team up. So it's not just about what you do, but it's creating the duplication. So you can see that the average diamond is only sponsored about 43 people. And that's averaging about 2 to 4 people per month. Also, each person that they brought in and this is, by the way, only over 21-month period of time. That average time it took them to go diamond has brought in 38 more people per associate to their team within 10 levels in depth. And so they built a team of about 1,627 people. So, J. Paul Getty said he'd prefer to have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of his own efforts. So this is really creating a team of people that are independent associates. That's what we really want to create is duplication and create independent associates. So this just shows the rank advancements that you're helping your team to grow. What I'd like to do is I'd like to just share with you some profiles of a few of the leaders so that you can see exactly what they've done. And again, with the idea that success leaves clues, I've taken a few of these people. We're going to highlight what Dan Doyle did. I'd like to look at Mal's figures. And I've also got grabbed the statistics of what Melissa and I did in building our business to triple diamond. So first of all, if we look at Dan's numbers, Dan hit diamond in 16 months, and the company averages is this red line. And this is Dan's figures here, his income on the blue line. So you can see what he did. Now, let's just take a look for a second and see what the difference is. And let's just do a comparison to see what it takes to build what Dan's been able to build, for example. So one thing that I want to tell you about this profession is it's best to work your business in 90-day bursts, 90-day blasts, where you've got an all-out massive action um, to put in new people in your business, and then find your leaders to work with them, and then do another one. Um, so Dan, in his first 90 days, and he would tell you that actually this was not all-out massive action, because it was several months later that he decided to really go in all in and to go for it. But in the first 90 days, he put in 22 people. And Dan achieved diamond in 16 months. Now, instead of 43 people, which is, as you recall, is what the average diamond had personally sponsored, Danny had sponsored 78 people in the first 21 months. So he put in more. So let's see how that actually plays out. Now, the other thing I like to point out is that he sponsored, over this period of time, less than one person per month. Now, that's pretty important for the consistency of enrolling new people. Now, the 78 people, there were 3,127 more associates that were added to his organization, and earning nearly about $300,000. Now, again, this is just in the first 21 months. We can see that averages about $14,000 per month. Let's see. Now, these figures, by the way, are totals that were figured out in February of this year. So there's, what do we have? Another about another 6 months on top of that already. So this is, at that point in time, is about 24,000 people in the downline, earn nearly 2 million. It'd certainly be well over that now. But the point I want to make here is that in the first 9 days, bringing in 22 people, an average of about 4 people, less than 4 people a month, about less than one person a week on average, but still working the business in kind of a blast of energy. Now, Mal Sword, an amazing leader. Mal was just recognized in the Millionaires Club. He's Ambassador Double Diamond. He's actually a perfect model, a perfect example of a model of what to do and how to build your business, because he's excellent at working with people, working in depth. This is Mal's statistics, and again, this is just as of February 2019. So what I actually did here on this is to look, when Mal started, he signed up, got his distributorship in October 2014, but because he had some other business interests, he had his foot in another camp, so to speak. He kind of said, do anything for 14 months. He sponsored 1 or 2 people and then just kind of sat out and didn't do anything. But in January of 2016, I remember sitting down at my kitchen table with Mal, and we talked about where this was going, what he could do. We looked at what had happened in the business with Dan and myself, and he said he made a decision. And I like to point this out because maybe you've been in Asea for a while, and the fact is you can have a restart date. So your start date doesn't have to be from the day that you signed up. It can be from any day that you decide to make a restart and put your efforts into your business. So from Mal's restart date, if we want to call it this, in the first 90 days, he sponsored 25 people. He achieved diamond in 19 months. Not the fastest to achieve diamond, but because of the consistent building, he has got truly one of the fastest growing teams in the company. So he sponsored 64 people from that 21 months from that restart date, which is an average of about 3 people a month. Those 64 people brought in another 1,092 people, and you can see his income in that period of time was about 162,000, earnings about 7,700 a month, and this just shows the downline. Again, this has grown substantially from there, and this point in time is about 1.4 million in total income earnings. So again, I just wanted to point out that if we're looking at that first 90-day push and the overall average on statistics, what kind of numbers that you need to put into your business, and if you really treat it like a business, sharing the vision with people, you can really make a difference. And I'll just briefly run through our numbers. It took us 18 months to go diamond. In fact, I remember when I went over to Salt Lake City, I met with the founders. I got very excited about what this was. It was the lights. The lights went on, and I remember calling Melissa, She was back in Australia, and I said, sweetheart, I want to stay here in the U.S. Of course, from Utah. I said, I really want to maximize my time here. I want to contact everybody I know. And I felt an absolute passion that everybody I know, that I cared about, that I love, needed to know about this technology. I want you to have that sense of urgency that the people that you care about, the people that you know, the people that you love need to know about this technology, even if they're not interested in doing the business. That's fine. They need to know about this technology for themselves. But the fact is because the opportunity is so amazing, and partially because of the product is so amazing, the people behind it, you've got a big story to tell. So don't be shy in telling that. So when I came, after coming back from the US, we actually came back as gold 2.5 months later. So it's a big push in the first little while. And again, 18 months to diamond. So this is the comparison there. But again, if we look at the numbers, sponsored 20 people in 90 days, and a total of 63 sponsored in the first 21 months. And you can see sometimes we put in a lot of effort in the beginning where we don't earn a lot necessarily, but as you're building your team down the road, you'll get paid. You'll get paid for well for things that you really don't do because you've built the team that is creating duplication. And you can see the income earnings have absolutely grown. Again, you can see that these statistics are there. So I just wanted to highlight some of those. Of course, diamond being the dream, but that's only the beginning, because as you advance up these ranks into the ambassador ranks and the presidential ranks, you can see that this really grows substantially. And if you did a comparison of the 12 years of medical school, or what it would take, the pain and anguish to become an attorney, for example. I know people who've gone to law school, and the time and effort, the cost to open up their practice, to generate the incomes. Now this is a pretty good gig when you compare it side by side. It just feels like we have no comparison. The good news is we happen to be involved with the best company in this profession. It almost feels like it's the only game in town. It feels so good compared to anything else out there. Revenue in 2018 was over 125 million US dollars. Asea owns their own manufacturing facility. They've got distribution centers in 18 distribution centers globally. We expect this to be $1 billion company in the next 5 to 7 years. That would be $1 billion annually. And there is no better timing to be involved with Asea. This is their manufacturing facility. They're currently positioned to be able to produce $1 billion worth of product right there from that facility. So ultimately, timing is everything. And I just want to give you a little summary. Before I get involved with a business like this, I look at 3 things. The foundation, if you want, is based on 3 things: integrity, stability, and timing. When we look at the integrity, and if you're familiar with the ethos of Asea, the culture of Asea, the ethics, the values, I can't imagine being involved with a group of better people than the Tyler and Vertus Norton and the leadership, Chuck Bunky, the other leaders at Asea, both corporately and in the field. Just an amazing group of people. Stability, we've already covered that. They're pretty sound, they're solid. And the reason that that's important is you want to make sure that this company's here for a long time. A high statistic, something like 98% of network marketing companies fail within their first 5 years. So they're well and truly past that stage. And integrity, stability, and timing. And timing, this is where we're positioned right now. We're in a place that people who understand network marketing absolutely covet, and that is the momentum phase. We are right now moving into a global phase of momentum. It is the time when you really want to put your foot on the gas and go for your life, because this is the time to build. It's the easiest time to build. So bottom line is that you simply want to be the leader that you would like to attract. And this is truly the time to build, your Asea story. Absolutely great group of people. The timing couldn't be better. And I hope that you really understand the power and the potential of this amazing profession that we're involved with.